Welcome to game one between Disney Team Water and Team Barco. Now for locker room starting lineup. Batting first, playing center field, Lawson Kozowski. Batting second, playing shortstop, Connor Steer. Batting third, the pitcher, Cooper Miller. Batting fourth, playing first base, Ty Richel. Batting fifth, playing left field, Braden Augustine. Batting sixth, the catcher, Mason Steer. Batting seventh, playing third base, Declan Lutz. Batting eighth, playing right field, Tobias Smith. Batting ninth, playing second base, Keelan Lyon. Reserves, Carter Romont, Chase Gotti, Henry Drum, and Nate Utley. Now for Parco's starting lineup. Batting first, the pitcher, James Davis. Batting second, the catcher, Mateo Williams. Batting third, the shortstop, Lucas Massatelli. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Jack Rowland. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Trady Arment. Batting sixth, playing second base, Dylan Hescott. Batting seventh, playing center field, Jason Gamber. Batting eighth, playing right field, Jack Davis. Batting ninth, playing left field, Colt Garvey. Reserves, Michael Massatelli, Chase Buchanan, Cameron Carter, Hank Clanderman, Ron Williams, Joey Niedemeyer. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Second game of the day here in the AABA Sports Network, and it's game one of this three-game series for the AABA semifinals between Locker Room and Parcom. Glad to have you with us, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Jake Irwin. It's a pleasure to have you here on this sunny Monday evening. Perfect conditions for baseball. Slight breeze in the air. And just the perfect temperature. Not too hot, not too cold. Couldn't ask for a better day. Looking at the starting pitcher there for Parcom, it is James Davis, their ace. Throwing some warm-up pitches before we have our first pitch. Last game, we saw Holsinger's Plumbing face LS Fury for their game one, in which Holsinger's Plumbing defeated them 11-0. That game ended in the fourth inning because of the mercy roll. So Holsinger's Plumbing, one step closer to going to the championship game and fighting for their third consecutive title. And looking at these two teams facing each other, Parcom has two championships in their program's history, 2017 and 2021. And for Locker Room, looking to etch their names in the trophy for the first time. As you can see on the screen, if you're watching the stream right now, shadow is stretching over the pitcher's mound, but part of home plate is in the sunlight, so that's something to take into consideration because when you're a batter and the ball's pitched and it goes from a shadow into sunlight, it can be kind of deceptive with your vision. So just something to take note of as the sun continues to set here in this beautiful summer day, first day of July. And we're ready to go here for game one of this semifinal round. Lawson Pizowski, the center fielder, gets us started here in the left-handed batter's box. James Davis is ready to go, and his first pitch hits the strike zone, 0-1. First pitch at 7:42 p.m. Adjusts his batting helmet with that orange bat of his. The 0-1 reaches out and fouls it back for an 0-2 count. One ball. That's inside. 1-2 here on Pizowski. This locker room team, 20-6 record on the season, third in the standings. Have won all 5 of their last 5 games, 8-2 in their last 10 outings. This one flared out to shallow center field, and the center fielder, Kason Gamber, overruns it, so that allows Pizowski to advance to second base. Gamber had a full head of steam out there at center field for Park Home, and just an honest mistake. Had so much speed that he toppled over the baseball and allowed Pizowski to nab second. So just like that, leadoff batter for locker room is in scoring position. And now we go to Connor Steer, the shortstop. And he takes a hack at that first pitch by James Davis, but can't connect. 0-1 count here on the locker room number 2 hitter. Righty deals, and he goes after that elevated off-speed pitch. And we've got an 0-2 count here on Connor Steer. Davis from the chest. Here's his windup and the 0-2. Fouls this one back. As his teammates sing "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees from the dugout behind him. Here comes the 0-2 from Davis and his release. Once again, a high off-speed pitch, and he just reaches out and chops it over the dugout here beyond the first baseline. We'll do it again at an 0-2 count. And here it is, outside. Make it 1-2 here on Connor Steer. Adjusts his helmet, steps in with those white batting gloves and that neon bat. And the 1-2. Good job protecting the plate there by Connor Steer. Hitting that pitch that was on the outside black of the plate. Pizowski at second base after his single. Second batter up here in the top of the second inning for locker room. That one down and away. Off the feet there of Park Home's catcher, Mateo Williams. Good job by him stopping that pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes in the offering. Fouls that one off. Connor Steer putting together a pretty solid at-bat. Really making Davis work out there. Here's the 2-2. Check swing on that off-speed pitch outside. And they appeal to the second base umpire. He says he did not go. 3-2 full count. And this great at-bat by Connor Steer. Righty versus righty. Here it is. Another one fouled off over the Park Home dugouts along the first baseline. Quite the battle we have here, and he's just the second batter we've seen in this game. Another foul. I believe this is the 10th pitch of this at-bat. It's certainly in double figures. And here comes the payoff. Hits this one high in the shallow right field. Second baseman and right fielder going after it, but neither able to get it before it hits the grass. And after that long battle, Connor Steer comes out with a single, advancing Lawson Pajkowski to third. Runners on the corners here for locker room with nobody out. And up comes the pitcher, Cooper Miller. Gets ready in that right-handed batter's box. Here's the windup from Davis and his delivery. Down the middle for a strike, taking off for second base, and dancing there is Connor Steer without a throw. James Davis more so worried about the lead runner, Pajkowski. Back-to-back singles here for this locker room team. Fouled off by Miller, so he's in with an 0-2 count. O2 coming to Miller. And here it is. Off speed, a high chopper to the third baseman, holds the runner there. Now the runner takes off, gets Miller at first, play at the plate, and in sliding safely is Lawson Pajkowski behind the tag of Mateo Williams. Connor Steer advancing to third. And an RBI ground out by Cooper Miller makes it a 1-0 ball game here for locker room. Now we get the cleanup batter, Ty Rischel. Played first base today. That one outside, 1-0. Davis set. Next one, also outside, 2-0. Wind up, and next pitch is flared out to left field. It's going to drop before Colt Garvey can get there. In to score is Connor Steer, trying to make his way to second, and getting there with the slide is Ty Rischel with an RBI double. 2-0 locker room here in the top of the first. So after Lawson Pajkowski and Connor Steer reach with singles, both of them score after an RBI ground out by Cooper Miller and an RBI double by Ty Rischel. Now we get the bat of Braden Augustine. 1-0 count to start him off. One out, runner on second. Some time called here before the next pitch can be delivered. Next offering is down and outside. It's now 2-0 on the number 5 hitter, Augustine. Field is almost completely obscured by shade now, with that sun continuing to set. 3-0 here in Augustine. Runner on second, 1 out. And the 3-0 and 4 straight balls to Augustine. First walk that locker room has forced in this game. And with that ball that travels to the backstop, we get Ty Rischel advancing to third. So runners on the corners with that 1 out on the board.
Number 25, Mason Steer.
We get Mason Steer, the catcher, up to the plate according to the scoreboard. James Davis already at 26 pitches. That one fired down the middle, but it's low, 1-0, and taking off with a little jog to second base is Augustine. Now you have Rischel at third and Augustine at second. 1-0 and a grounder sent over to Davis. Play at the plate. Here it is. Gets the low tag in on Rischel. And so great play there defensively by Park Home to avoid locker room from adding on another run. Augustine advanced to third, and Mason Steer on with the fielder's choice. James Davis just cleanly fielded it, was patient, just threw it right into Mateo Williams, and then a nice tag by Williams. Got the runner low at the feet so he couldn't slide under it. Well done. This one gets past Williams, though. Here comes a play at the plate again, and in by just a second there is Braden Augustine. 3-0 locker room, and Mason Steer advancing to second base. 1-0 count here on the third baseman, Declan Lutz. Next pitch. Takes a big swing at that one, but gets nothing but air. Time's going to be called here as the catcher, Williams, adjusts his mask, and it looks like he's all ready to go now. 2 outs, runner on second, 3-0 for locker room here in the top of the first. And make it 2-1 here on the number 7 hitter, Declan Lutz. 3 hits here in this inning for locker room. Pizowski, Steer, and Rischel collecting those hits. 2-2 even count here on Lutz. And Pizowski scoring on was a wild pitch. RBI ground out by Cooper Miller. RBI double by Ty Rischel. That's what we've seen so far here in this first frame. Comes a 3-2, and a called strike 3 to get Declan Lutz. And after 7 batters, the side will retire. But an RBI ground out by Cooper Miller, as well as an RBI double by Ty Rischel, helps put 3 on the board here for locker room as we progress our way to the bottom of the first. Back with more of the semifinal round after the break on the AABA Sports Network. Welcome back here on the AABA Sports Network, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. We thank you for making us a part of your Monday evening. If you're not able to attend the game in person, or maybe you are and just want to tune into the stream, either way, we thank you for supporting Altoona Area Baseball Association. Low pitch here to start off the bat of James Davis. The opposing pitcher here to Cooper Miller, who, of course, threw a 4-inning no-hitter in that first series in Game 1, in which locker room faced Sheets, and took those 2 games at 3-game series to put Sheets' season to an end. Comes the 2-0 to the leadoff batter, James Davis. That's a called strike. Locker room has been playing some hot baseball lately. They've won all 5 of their last 5 games, 8-2 in their last 10. For Park Home, 19-5 record on the season, second in the standings, 2-2 even count here on Davis. 4-1 in their last 5 contests, and also 8-2 in their last 10 games. So they've also been playing great baseball. 2-2 down and towards the shoelaces of Davis. We've got a payoff pitch coming up here, and Park Home's first batter. Park Home's last game was an 11-4 win versus LS Fury on June 26th. Comes 3-2. Thought about swinging at that outside pitch, but wisely held back to force the walk. So runner in first here for Park Home to start off the bottom half of the first inning, and we get the catcher, Mateo Williams, who steps up to the plate. Miller set. His windup. And his pitch is smacked out into left field and in for a base hit. Rounding second and applying the brakes is James Davis. And after Mateo Williams' single, 2 quick base runners here for Park Home with nobody out. And we have the shortstop, Lucas Musatelli, with an RBI chance with that runner in scoring position. Miller, his long windup, his kick, and pitch. First pitch strike. These teams have played each other 3 times this season. First meeting was on April 27th, in which it was a tight ball game. Locker room won that one 7-6. The 0-1 pitch, off speed, up high, 1-1. And then the second meeting was on May 15th. Park Home was able to take that one by a 7-1 score. And then the last time these teams saw each other was May 20th, where Locker Room shut out Park Home 5-0. Hard grounder sent out to left field, in for a base hit. Rounding third and coming in to score is James Davis. No throw is made, and an RBI single by Lucas Musatelli to make it a 2-run ball game. 3-1 our score.
13, Jack Rollins.
Mateo Williams at second and Musatelli at first base. Now the bat of Jack Rowland playing the hot corner today for Park Home. And he swats at that first pitch for a strike. So Locker Room is 2-1 against Park Home up to this point in the season. So expect quite a battle here throughout this series. Should be one of the best series of the AABA postseason to watch. The 0-2 on its way from Miller, and he releases it. Grounder sent over the second baseman. Tries to field it off the backhand, but it hops out to right field. Rounding third is Mateo Williams. He's in to score. Also rounding third and coming in to score is Musatelli. A 2 RBI single by Jack Rowland, who ends up getting the second base on the throw. And just like that, this fierce Park Home team ties us up at 3. So now a mound visit here. After this surge of hitting by Park Home, all 4 of the last 4 batters have reached base safely. A walk by James Davis, and then 3 consecutive singles by Mateo Williams, Lucas Musatelli, and Jack Rowland. And so now the mound meeting will disperse, and we'll get the number 5 hitter, Trey DeArmond, stepping his way into that right-handed batter's box. Here's Miller's pitch. Called a strike, but it hops off the glove of Mason Steer, and that allows Jack Rowland to cruise into third base, 60 feet away from putting Park Home up by a run and giving them their first lead of the ball game. From the chest, here's the leg kick by Miller and his 0-1 off speed as DeArmond move out of the way of that one. Ball and a strike. Here's Miller's 1-1. Just outside and almost made its way to the backstop, but an excellent stop there by the catcher, Mason Steer. 2 balls and a strike. Still nobody out. Runner at third. 3-3 our score here in the bottom of the first in the 2-1. Popped up into center field. Pizowski camps under it, makes the catch. Tagging up from third is Jack Rowland. Here's a throw in, but not in time. Sack fly by Trey DeArmond, and Park Home has the 4-3 lead.
Second baseman, number 27, Dylan Hescox.
Tons of great hitting here early on. And mind you, these pitchers on the mound are spectacular pitchers. Cooper Miller and James Davis, both with great seasons. Swinging there is Dylan Hescox for an 0-1 count. But the bats have just been great today. So despite these pitchers being so talented, the batters have just been seeing the ball well out of both of their hands. That's why we have this high-scoring affair here in just the bottom of the first frame. Here comes the 0-2 to Hescox. That one bounces outside. Hescox, the number 6 hitter in this order, awaits the 1-2. Off speed, cuts inside, and we've got a 2-2 count. 1 out here in the bottom. The first inning, 4-3 lead for this Park Home team. And with the strikeout of Hescox, we have Kason Gamber step up to the plate.
Kason Gamber.
Next one, high bouncing ground ball to Miller. Momentum carries him towards the third base line, but he makes a powerful step forward to get that throw in time to get Gamber with the ground out, and that'll do it for our first inning. So a surge of scoring here by both sides. Locker room opens up with a 3-0 lead, and then Park Home responds with 4 runs of their own. RBI single by Musatelli, as well as a 2 RBI single by Rowland and a sac fly by Trey DeArmond. Gets us to where we are now. Second frame coming up after the break here in the AABA Sports Network.
Coming off top of the second inning is the right fielder, number 12, Tobias Smith.
Tobias Smith gets us ticked off to start off this second inning with a 4-3 Park Home lead. I'm Jake Irwin, providing you the play-by-play commentary here on Facebook and YouTube, whichever platform you're using this evening. First pitch strike to the number 8 hitter Smith. Offers at a bunt, and it just goes over his bat. So now an 0-2 count. And strike 3 called on Smith. Second strikeout recorded by James Davis on the mound here today for Park Home. And that's one away to start off our second frame. We get the bat of Keelan Wyatt. First pitch to Wyatt. Off speed that curls its way into the strike zone. 0-1. Both teams with 3 hits up to this point. And a walk. Delayed swing at that next one. 0-2. And strike 3 there, swinging. So the third consecutive batter that James Davis has struck out after some early troubles back in that first inning. It seems like he's started to figure things out, but now he has a tall task of going back to the top of this order. That it's a very dangerous hitting team. 1-0 count here to start off Lawson Pizowski. Especially Pizowski by how frequently he's able to get on base. Had a single his last time up and would come around to score on an RBI ground out by Cooper Miller. It's also an RBI double by Ty Rischel to score Connor Steer. Braden Augustine would get home on a wild pitch. 2 balls and a strike on Pizowski. That's how Locker Room got those 3 runs on the board. Bouncer down the third baseline, but it goes foul before Jack Rowland can get there in time. So 2 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs after Smith and Wyatt struck out previous to this at-bat. Comes Davis looking for a 1-2-3 inning, and this is popped out into foul territory. Rowland chasing after it and tries to make the catch, but it bounces off of his chest as he was making his way towards that bullpen beyond the third baseline. Great effort there by Rowland, but that ball fell rather quickly, so stay with a 2-2 count. Up and away, 3-2. Next one on its way. Pizowski hits it right past the pitcher's mound, and the shortstop, Musatelli, prevents it from going into the outfield. That's still a base hit for Pizowski, already a multi-hit performance for the Locker Room center fielder. Back-to-back singles for him. Extends this inning and prevents Davis from getting a 1-2-3 inning after striking out 3 consecutive batters. And we get Connor Steer, first one he sees, he likes, and grounds it over to Musatelli. Quick throw at second to get Pizowski, the lead runner. And that'll do it for the top of our second frame. So for Locker Room, no runs, a hit, and 1 left on base. We go to the bottom of the second after the break. The score, Park Home 4 and Locker Room 3. Back with more of Game 1 of the AABA semifinals after the break.
Sitting on the bottom of the second inning is right fielder number 21, Michael Montatelli.
First one Michael Montatelli sees is fair. Yeah, they called it fair. Michael Montatelli thought that it was foul. Instead, a great stab there by Rischel over at first base to prevent it from going foul. It was right down the line. It was close. He was pinch hitting for Jack Davis in that number 8 spot. So with that, we'll get one away. And now the number 9 hitter, Colt Garvey, swings at the first one he sees. The 1 here coming to Garvey. Watches that one just a tad low. 1-1 even count. Next one on its way from Cooper Miller. Swings at that high pitch. 1-2. In that first inning, in which Park Home put up 4 runs, it came from an RBI single by Lucas Montatelli. 2-2 even count here in Colt Garvey. And a 2 RBI single by Jack Rowland, followed by a sac fly by Trey DeArmond. It was a 2-2. Just outside. Miller thought he had carved the outer portion of the zone. Instead, the count is full here on Garvey in his first at-bat of the game. Here comes the payoff. And it's right down the middle for strike 3. As Miller gets his second strikeout of the day on Park Home hitters. And that's 2 away as we flip the lineup card and go to James Davis, who reached on a walk-in, came around to score on that Lucas Montatelli RBI single. The offering, and it's upstairs for ball number 1. 2 outs here on Park Home. In the bottom of the second, they lead it by 4-3 score here in game 1 of this 3-game series in the semifinal round. Fouled back, and we have a 1-1 pitch coming up. Lots of friends and family members of the players on top of that hill in left field. And their lawn chairs and trunks open of their cars, just having a good time here in this nice, cool summer evening here on the first day of July. 2 balls and a strike on Davis. And the release outside, 3-1. Outfielders playing pretty deep here against the dangerous bat of Davis. And 3-1. Outside for ball 4, and back-to-back walks for James Davis here in his plate appearances today. Prevents the 1-2-3 inning by Cooper Miller. Now we have Mateo Williams, who singled his last time up and came around to score as part of that 2 RBI single by Jack Rowland in the first inning. First pitch he sees, off speed outside, called a strike, but Mason Steer not able to snare it, and that allows Davis to cruise his way into second base. Miller likes the one he wants. And the 0-1, Tapper sent down the third base line. It's fair, throws across to the pitcher, who throws it right back to third, and he overruns the bag at third and is tagged out. Oh, that's one of the weirder plays you'll ever see. That was a 5-1-5 play. If you're scoring this game, I'm sure you've probably never had that one before. That was bizarre. So Davis is tagged out at third, and Mateo Williams is credited with the fielder's choice. We make our way to the third inning with the score 4-3 in favor of Park Home. Back with more after this break.
Leading off the top of the third inning is the pitcher number 11, Cooper Miller.
The 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up here for Locker Room as we start this third inning. 4-3 Park Home lead in game one of this semifinal series. Want to know to start off Cooper Miller, who had an RBI ground out last time we saw him. 1-0. And right past second base, out into center field. Cooper Miller gets his first hit of the ball game.
That brings up the first baseman, number 10, Ty Russell.
Now Ty Russell steps up, had an RBI double back in the first. Winner of this series plays the winner of Holsinger's Plumbing and LS Fiore. Out to second base, and nice play made there by Hescox at second. Had the truck backwards and almost fell over his own feet as he made his way towards the outfield grass, but was able to keep his footing and make the catch to complete the pop out there of Ty Russell. Cooper Miller staying at first, so one out here. The runner on first. And now Braden Augustine, who walked and came around to score. Strike one. Scored on a wild pitch as part of that 3-run first inning for Locker Room. So, yeah, the winner of this series plays the winner of Holsinger's and LS Fiore. That game happened earlier. 1-1 even count on Augustine, in which Holsinger's won by an 11-0 final in 4 innings. So Holsinger's is one game away from heading to the championship and trying to win their third straight off speed inside. And it's 2-1 here on the number 5 hitter, Augustine. Wind up in the 2-1. Swings at that one off speed and ended up swinging on top of it as a result. 2-2. See some comments here on the Facebook feed. And check swing there goes past Williams into the backstop, and that allows Cooper Miller to advance to second base. Payoff pitch coming up here to Augustine. And so it's always good to see all of these people supporting various players on the field. Next one, and that's in there for strike 3. Braden Augustine handed it backwards K. That is the 4th strikeout by James Davis on the mound today. That's 2 outs here for Locker Room. And now Mason Steer going to try to bring in Cooper Miller from second base and tie this ball game up. And he gets plunked on the first pitch, so he won't have the opportunity to do so. It's a little high five, though, from James Davis. Always good to see that.
Third baseman number 22, Declan Lutz.
So Mason Steer reaches for the second time today. And with a pinch runner here in for Mason Steer. Understandable since he's a catcher, so he wants time to get that gear on. First one that Lutz sees is lined into the shortstop's glove. And that'll do it here for the top of the 3rd inning. So 2 runners are stranded for Locker Room after a single by Cooper Miller and a hit by pitch to Mason Steer. Nobody else is able to get them in. We have a good ball game on tap here between 2 pretty evenly matched teams. Bottom of the inning coming up after the break. Back here for the AABA semifinals, where Park Home leads it by a 4-3 score as we enter the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Off the bottom of the 3rd inning is the shortstop for club, Lucas Masatelli.
3, 4, and 5 hitters due up here for Park Home. We've had even more comments here, this time on YouTube. Remington Campbell stopping by to say hi. First pitch is hit out to shallow right field. Right fielder makes a 2-handed grab for out number 1. Well done there by Tobias Smith to complete the line out by Lucas Masatelli. Now we have Jack Rowland coming up, who contributed in a big way the last time we saw him. A 2 RBI single back in the 1st inning as a part of that 4-run inning for Park Home for the lead that they have now. Strike 1 here to Rowland. And we have another viewer that's states away. I broadcasted the last game between Holsingers and LS Fury. Grounder sent over to the pitcher. He gets over there and makes an easy play to first, 2 away. We had someone from Texas tuning into the game, and this time we have somebody from Florida, South Florida to be exact. It's Lisa Tickerhoof tuning in on the YouTube stream. I hope I said your last name correctly, but she says good luck from South Florida. So thank you, Lisa, for tuning into the stream. 1-0 count here to start off Trey DeArmond, who had a sac fly and helped get in one of those 4 runs that Park Home scored in the bottom of the 1st inning. And, of course, we have Josh Buchanan on here. He goes from winning a minor league championship straight to the beach. Tuning in from the Outer Banks. Enjoy it, Josh. Well deserved after a great season by Underground Sports, winning the title just the other day. Comes a 2-0. Now it's 3-0 here on the number 5 hitter, Trey DeArmond. Which part of the Outer Banks are you in, Josh? I'll be going there here in a little less than 2 weeks. Comes a 3-0. That's downstairs. 4 straight balls to Trey DeArmond. Runner in first with 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 4-3 lead for Parcombe. Now comes Dylan Hescox, who struck out swinging the last time we saw him. Righty versus righty battle, and Miller deals, and a hot shot down the first baseline, but it's foul. So a loud strike number 1 here on the Parcombe second baseman. This has by far been the most active comments we've had on a stream so far in the AABA playoffs. So congrats to all of you watching. 0-1 coming to Hescox, and that is a beautiful off-speed pitch that just slides its way into the zone. 0-2 here on Hescox. Both of these pitchers have really settled in after rough first innings. 0-2. Another off-speed. This one just misses. 1-2. Long windup. And the pitch just gets a piece of that one to stay alive. Mason Steer was trying his best to hang on to that one to try and complete the strikeout, but it was a tough one to hang on to. So we'll do it again at 1-2. There's the pitch, and over the head of Hescox. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Trey DeArmond at first after he got on with a walk. The 2-2 right down the middle, and swinging through it is Dylan Hescox to put an end to this 3rd inning. So 1 runner gets on, but isn't able to advance from first. 4-3. Parcombe leads it as we make our way to the 4th. Neither team wants to give an inch here in game 1 of the semifinal round. Back with more after the break. Welcome back here to the AABA semifinals. Top of the fourth, 4-3 lead for Parcombe. And the first pitch in there for a strike on Tobias Smith, who struck out looking his last time up. I said before we went to break that these two pitchers have really settled down since those rough first innings in which they gave up all those runs you see on the board right now. Since that first inning, just 2 base hits surrendered by James Davis. And for Cooper Miller, since that first inning, he has not given up a single hit. A couple walks, but that's it. 1-2 here on Tobias Smith. And here it is, and it plunks him right on his left hip. So he'll take a trot over to first base in some pain, but appears to be all right, limping a little bit. But he'll take a little cruise down the first baseline, perhaps, to walk it off.
Second baseman, number 1, Carter Wilmot.
And with that, we'll get a pinch hitter for Keelan Wyant. It's going to be Carter Wilmot. First pitch that Wilmot sees in this game is a strike. To answer your question, Josh, I will be going to Nags Head in the Outer Banks. Offers at a bunt, up and away, 1-1 even count. Williams checking over at Smith at first base. This will be my third time going to Nags Head since I started going back to the Outer Banks in, I believe, 2020. Offers a bad one, 1-2. One-two offering downstairs in the turf, but a good stop there by Mateo Williams to keep Smith at first base. From the chest, Davis with his windup and his pitch. A bouncer hit off the front of the dugout. So he'll stand back in with a 2-2 count. Righty versus lefty battle in the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for Wilmot. And just like that, Davis gets yet another strikeout. As now Davis's 5th strikeout of the day for out number 1 here against Locker Room with Tobias Smith at first. And now we flip the lineup card and go to Lawson Pizowski, who's reached twice with a pair of singles. Outside, gets past Williams, advancing to second base is Tobias Smith, and he's in standing up. Now runner scoring position with 1 away for the Locker Room, trying to reclaim their lead that they had back in the first inning before Parcombe put up 4 runs in the bottom of the first. Here comes the 1-0. And that one catches the outside of the zone. Pizowski thinking that was going to be a ball, but it just clipped the black of the plate. 1-1 count on the Locker Room center fielder. This one bounces before it gets to the plate. Williams can't handle it, and getting into third base now is Tobias Smith. 60 feet away from tying this ball game up potentially. Smith was hit by a pitch and got into scoring position on a wild pitch, and then another one to get him into third. The 2-1 to Pizowski hits it right past the pitcher's mound and right over the second base bag out in the center field. Tobias Smith in to score, and we have a tie semifinal game here for you on John Kraft Field. An RBI single by Lawson Pazowski. He is 3 for 3 on the day, and he is having a terrific postseason. Continues to just find open holes in the field. The first one that Steer sees out the short, takes it himself for one, to first for two, a double play. Well done by the shortstop. Lucas Musatelli took it himself to get Pazowski running to second and then chucked it over to first, where DeArmond squeezed the leather for the double play off the bat of Connor Steer. So locker room does tie it up here in the top of the fourth. After Tobias Smith was hit by a pitch, he made his way into third base after a couple wild pitches, and then Pazowski got him in with an RBI single. Go to the bottom of the fourth after the break. All tied it up here in game one of the semifinals. Back with more after the break.
Coming up the bottom of the fourth inning is the center fielder number 10, Casey Gammer.
Welcome back here on the AABA Sports Network. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, thanks for being a part of our Monday evening. First pitch ball to Casey Gamber, who grounded out last time up. Miller in his fourth inning pitching here, that one up and away, well out of the reach of his catcher Mason Steer-Tuno on the number 7 hitter Casey Gamber. Righty versus righty battle to get us started here in the home half of the fourth frame. Pitch, and that one finds the zone. Bottom corner towards the knees of Gamber. This pitch outside, 3-1. Some people with blankets out there in left field. It is getting a little chilly here in this Monday evening. 3 balls and a strike. And here it is to Gamber. It's a piece of it, and a full count. Payoff pitch coming up. Nice cool summer night for baseball. Definitely a good break from that heat wave we had here about a week or two ago, where every day was mid to upper 90s. It's a 3-2. And Gamber with great vision there takes ball 4. Lots of great plate discipline there by Gamber. A lot of batters are really anxious with a 3-2 full count, understandably so, and so they're willing to swing at anything close. But right there, Gamber took that one just inches off the plate below his knees, and he reaches for the first time in this game. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth, tie ball game at 4 apiece. And Musatelli hits this one to the second baseman. To second, not in time. Casey Gamber beats it out at second base. And Michael Musatelli reaches with a single because of it. Good speed there by Gamber. Full head of steam there as he made his way towards second base. And as a result, it avoided one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Nobody out. Gamber at second and Musatelli at first. Now we get Colt Garvey up to the plate, squaring the bunt, pops it up, and it goes foul. Garvey struck out looking his last time up to the plate. An RBI single by Lawson Pizowski in the top of the fourth is how Locker Room was able to tie this ball game up. Scored Tobias Smith from third, who initially reached on a hit by pitch to bunt. Pulling it back, though, is Garvey, 1-1 even count on Parkhome's number 9 hitter. Miller winds up and fires his 1-1. Scoring a bunt. This one makes its way to the backstop. Both runners advance. Gamber to third, and Michael Musatelli to second base. Nobody out. Umpire explaining that wasn't called strike there. Whenever it bounced its way to the backstop. So it's a 1-2 count here on Garvey. One, two, and swinging at that elevated pitch is Colt Garvey, and one away here for Parkhome. Runners on second and third. Go to the top of the order with James Davis, who has reached twice with walks. Big opportunity to give his team their lead back, and he will do so. Gets past the glove of Connor Steer in to score. Is both runners? No, they're going to hold up Musatelli at third base, but Kason Gambert comes in to score. An RBI single by James Davis to give Parkhome the 5-4 lead if you score it. And it's an RBI single advancing to second on the throw. Either way, Davis has himself an RBI in his first hit of the ball game. First one that Mateo Williams sees off the hand of Miller is fouled back for a strike. Righty versus righty battle. Mateo Williams with a single and a fielder's choice. Comes the 0-1 and grounds one into the third baseman's glove. Nice stop by him to prevent it from getting into left field. Run comes in to score. That's an RBI ground out for Mateo Williams. Getting in Michael Musatelli from third base. James Davis with good speed, beating out that throw from first to third. A good effort over there by Rischel at first. So an RBI single by James Davis and an RBI ground out by Mateo Williams gives a 6-4 lead here for Parkhome. In the bottom of the fourth inning, and up comes Lucas Musatelli, who has an RBI single and a lineout. That pitch backs him off from the plate. Keeping an eye on the third base runner, James Davis. The next one. Check swing, doesn't go. Runner coming in from third. He's in sliding safely on what could potentially be scored as a passed ball there. It hopped off of the glove of Mason Steer. That deceptive off-speed pitch that Cooper Miller threw. 2-0 here on Lucas Musatelli. 3 runs in this bottom of the fourth inning for Parkhome. Give them the 7-4 lead. Fouled back, 2-1. Two outs, 2-1 count here on Lucas Musatelli. Next pitch, hits the zone, 2-2. From the chest. Here's Miller's pitch to Musatelli, backs him off the plate. And payoff pitch coming up. The 3-2. Swings at a high pitch, right back to Miller it goes. Throws to first. And that'll do it here for our fourth inning. So Parcombe reclaims their lead with an RBI single by James Davis and an RBI ground out by Mateo Williams. And then Davis coming in to score from a passed ball. Parcombe looking to take game one of this three-game series in the semifinals. Fifth inning coming up after the break on the AABA Sports Network. New pitcher into the ball game here for Parcombe, and it's Lucas Musatelli now toeing the slab after 4 innings of work by James Davis. First batter he faces is Cooper Miller, who chops it over to his third base coach on 1 count on Miller, who has an RBI ground out and a single up to this point. Next one inside, 1-1. Two and one here on Miller. Watches that one just outside, 3-1. Good vision there by Cooper Miller. And the offering backs away from that one for ball 4. So the first batter of this 5th inning gets on with a walk. Second time that Miller has reached base today. And now the cleanup hitter, Ty Rischel. RBI double and a pop out for him. Ball 1. to the locker room first baseman. Off speed, inside 2-0. It was a big bottom of the fourth inning for Parcombe to give them this 7-4 lead. 3-0 here on Rischel. RBI single by James Davis, as well as an RBI ground out by Mateo Williams. 3-1 here on Ty Rischel. And then Davis would score on a passed ball to make the 4-4 game a 7-4 game. The 3-1. Grounder sent over to the shortstop. Fields it, throws it to second for 1. No chance for 2, but they'll take the lead runner out. Ty Rischel on with a fielder's choice. So 1 out, runner on first in the top of the fifth inning, 7-4 lead for Parcombe. Game 1 of this series, and up steps Braden Augustine. A walk and strikeout for Augustine on the evening. Time going to be called here as Augustine's going to have a quick discussion with his third base coach, and now their meeting disperses, and he'll step into that right-handed batter's box. First pitch he sees is off speed and has to contort his body a little bit. Make sure he didn't get plunked with that one. 1-0. Musatelli fires his 1-0. Now reaches his own, 1-1. James Davis pitching those 4 innings, allowing 4 runs. 1-1, fouled off, 1-2. So Davis with a decent outing. Giving up 6 hits in those 4 innings of work. Chopper sent down the third baseline. It's going to roll foul. So we'll stay at a 1-2 count. And Davis racking up 5 strikeouts in his outing. Hitting wise, has reached all 3 times. 1-2 coming up here on Augustine. Rischel at first after reaching on a fielder's choice. 1 out. Pumped up in the air. Pitcher's under it. Makes the catch for out number 2. So now comes the catcher, Mason Steer, fielder's choice, and a hit by pitch as part of his ledger on the night. Number 6 hitter in this locker room batting order, and that's a strike. Set at the belt, up to the chest, the 0-1. Popper out to left field, caught there for out number 3. Nicely done there by Colt Garvey out in left. So Cooper Miller reaches on a walk. He's thrown out at second as part of a Rischel fielder's choice. And then 2 outs follow from there to put an end to the top of the 5th inning. Parcombe going to try to add on to their 7-4 lead. Back with more baseball here after the break. New pitcher into the ball game here for the locker room, and it's going to be Connor Steer after 4 innings of work by Cooper Miller.
Cleaning up the bottom of the 5th inning for third baseman number 13, Jack Rowland.
Jack Rowland gets us started off. A 2 RBI single and ground out up to this point. First pitch she faces here by Steer is grounded right into the backhand of Steer and throws across for the out. Nicely done there by Connor Steer. Got it right into the tip of his glove on that backhand and took his momentum the other way and then threw over to the first base bag. First pitch and first out. Now we get Trey DeArmond. A sac fly and walk so far in tonight's ball game. In there for strike. So for Cooper Miller's day, gave up 7 runs, 5 hits. Grounder sent over to the shortstop. It's going to have to be quick over there, and it is. It's a slow dribbler, but was able to get Trey DeArmond in time for the 6-3 putout. 2 quick outs here against Parcombe here in the bottom of the 5th. And in that outing, Miller was able to rack up 4 strikeouts as part of his 4 innings of work. Comes the 1-0. Just misses 2-0 on Dylan Hescox. 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Fly ball sent in the shallow right field, and it jumps in there for the base hit. First time Hescox has reached base tonight. That fine base hit that blooped into shallow right field. Declan Lutz tried to get there in time, but it fell rather quickly. So runner on first with 2 outs, and up comes Kason Gamber. Off-speed pitch upstairs, 1-0. Gamber 0 for 1 on the night, ground out and a walk. After he walked, he would come around to score. 1-0. Again, 2-0. Comes a 2-0. Down low and outside, 3-0. Locker room is 2-1 against Park this season. But Park trying to change that and even the series at 2-2 and go up 1-0 in this playoff series. And there's a 4-pitch walk. That advances Hescox to second with Gamber taking first base. Second walk of the day for Gamber.
Walker with the right fielder, number 23, Hank Klingerman.
Now Hank Klingerman steps up to the plate for the first time in this ball game. Pinch hitting for Michael Musatelli. Grounds 1 over to the shortstop. Strong throw over to first, not in time. The speed of Hank Klingerman keeps the inning alive here for Parcombe. Everybody advances a bag, and now Colt Garvey with the opportunity to pad on some insurance runs here for Parcombe. First pitch he sees, swinging away at that off-speed pitch, 0-1. Hescox at third, Gamber at second, and Klingerman at first. 0-1. High fly ball sent out to left field. Left fielder chasing after it. Just foul by inches. They say it's a game of inches for a reason, and that's because Parcombe was literally about an inch away from tacking on at least 2 runs, if not 3. Instead, we'll stick with a 7-4 ball game for now. 0-2. Here it comes to Garvey. Fouls it back. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 7-4 lead for Parcombe here in the bottom of the 5th. Game 1 of this series to see who plays the winner of Holsinger's Plumbing and LS Fury. Holsinger's took game 1 of that series. Lightning rod right into the glove of the shortstop. And that'll do it for our 5th inning. Despite Parcombe having the bases loaded, can't bring in any of those runners. Locker room needs at least 3 to force a bottom of the 6th inning. Back with more of postseason baseball after this quick break. Well, here we go. Game 1 of this semifinal series comes down to this. Parcombe leads at 7-4 here in the top of the 6th. Locker room needs at least 3 runs to force a bottom half of the 6th inning. And it starts with the number 7 hitter, Declan Lutz. Strikeout and lineout for him on the night. First pitch he gets from Lucas Musatali is ball 1. Musatali in for his 2nd inning of work. In relief for the starter, James Davis, grounder down the third baseline, foul, 1-1 count. In his 1st inning of work, walked his first batter, but then retired the next 3. Declan Donuts has his teammates chant from the dugout behind him, and he stands in with a 2-1 count. Next pitch is rifled out to left field and drops into shallow left field for a base hit. Declan Lutz rounds first and reaches base for the first time with a single, and a big moment of this game to reach for the first time. And now for the first time in this game, Nate Buckley gets an at-bat. First pitch to Buckley, in at the knees for strike number 1. Declan Lutz at first after a single. Nobody out. At the top of the sixth. Squares the bunt, pulls it back just in time with the infield running up on him to try and field that bunt if it was landed. 1-1 count here on Buckley. Squaring the bunt again. Roland comes running up the line. Can't connect with it. Strike two. No outs. Runner on first. The 1-2. Swinging, and it goes to the shortstop. Flips it to second for one. To first. Not in time. Buckley is in safely, so chalk that up as a fielder's choice. Parcombe getting the lead runner there. So one out, runner on first. And up steps Keelan Wyant. Keelan Wyant's second at-bat of the night. Struck out his last time up. And takes an 0-1 count here in his second at-bat. Lutz on first after his single. One out. Next pitch, and swinging away at that one, reaching out for that outside pitch. 0-2 here on Wyant. Wind up. The 0-2 to Wyant, and he swings third for strike three, going to second base, and the throw to second, he's out! And that's how our ball game ends. Strike him out, throw him out. To put an exclamation mark on this win for Parcombe, they take game one of this semifinal series here against Locker Room.
That's the game final score. Parcombe 7, Locker Room 4. Great game to both teams.
And what a great game here from both teams. There's a lot of back and forth action. Just a very exciting game to watch. So it's a phenomenal job by kids on both sides. But at the end of the day, the victory goes to Parcombe to even the season series at 2-2 between these squads, and to go up 1-0, now just one game away from advancing to the championship game. And before we sign off, I want to thank the supporters in the chat here tonight. I appreciate the compliment there, Lisa. And for Josh Buchanan, who is always showering compliments my way. So appreciate it, Josh. Enjoy the rest of your vacation in the beautiful Outer Banks. So to sign off here from John Kraft Field, the final, Parcombe 7 and Locker Room 4 to go up 1-0 here in the semifinal series. Game 2 should be a good one. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. Be sure to tune in to the streams here on Facebook and YouTube throughout the rest of this week. As Holsinger's Plumbing has the 1-0 lead, and now Parcombe has the 1-0 lead here in the semifinal round of the 2024 AABA playoffs. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. My name's Jake Irwin. It was a pleasure reading your comments, commentating some baseball for you. And I look forward to doing some more games. So have a great rest of your night, everybody. 7-4 the final for Parcombe here on the AABA Sports Network.